Imagine a world where the money is no longer controlled by anyone, where it truly belongs to you. A world with no middlemen, no permission, just you, connected to anyone, anywhere. A world where inflation can't silently erode your wealth because supply is fixed and transparent. A world where every transaction is verified by consensus, not trust, but math. Imagine a world where promises can be broken because smart contracts make them real. This world already exists. And that word exists already, and it's called crypto, a word that values $4 trillion and is growing. Welcome to yet another episode of True Spirit and Wealth. This is Mu again, and this time I'm going to take you to a journey of introduction to crypto. From an angle of the differences between the crypto industry and the current monetary system, the traditional monetary systems. The current monetary system is fundamentally based on trust. We trust the central bank that the value of €1, $1 is at its best intersection between the value and the purchase power. We also trust that we will always have access to our money in the bank. So, are we sane trusting all these things? Probably we are not. In fact, we all know, consciously or unconsciously, that the same amount of money will buy less things in 10 years' time than what they can buy now. And we know this, we have all heard about inflation, and this is a graphic representation of what you could buy, this with $100 in the past, and then currently and the last one with less stuff in the cart. So that's the inflation. You can buy less things with the same amount of money. We also trust that we always have access to our money. We probably have forgotten what's happening in Greece during, if you remember, the financial crisis, where there were queue for people waiting to get the maximum €50 they could get out of the bank per day when they could. And we also trust that our money, but we probably have forgotten what's happened during the Cyprus crisis, where the International Monetary Fund, the EU, and the Cyprus government has put their hands in the savings of the private people, taking money without asking the permission at all. How does the crypto industry fix all this problem? First of all, in the crypto world exists a concept that is called zero trust. You don't trust a middleman or a software that you don't manage and you can't have access to deal with your transaction and with your assets. You trust the software. There is a software that operates with the logic if-then. So if certain conditions are met, then the transaction is approved. And so the assets are sent, transformed, or received. The other element that is quite important on top of the middleman is the inflation. So the quantity of the crypto assets for each crypto are defined by the software that regulate that crypto. So for instance, in the Bitcoin world, there will never be more than 21 million 21 million Bitcoins. And we are very close to it. We are about 20 million. This is written in the software that manage the Bitcoin quantity. So this is not in the hand of political agenda that to get vote they print money and they create more inflation. In fact, scarcity drives up the value, which is the exact contrary of the inflation. You can buy much more things now with one Bitcoin than what you could have bought 10 years ago. Let's this concept sink for a moment. The money that the traditional monetary system oblige you to use lose about from 2 to 10% of their value every year. Depends on the country and the moment, but we are on those things. There are countries that are also lose more than 10% every year when there is hyperinflation. The Bitcoin, which has more or less 10 years lifespan so far, has increased from about $0 when it started, a few cents, to current 70,000 with a peak of $124,000. So the value of the Bitcoin has increased dramatically against the value of the traditional currencies that are decreasing. So let this concept sink for a moment. Think if you had bought one Bitcoin 10 years ago, you'd have made 70,000 times the price. That's incredible. Also, the architecture lead the users to have full control of their assets, because there is no middleman. Now, with great power comes also great responsibilities. Full controls means also that the user of crypto assets needs to be in full control and understand what he or her are doing. As a matter of fact, if you lose your password, let's call it like that, or if you send or swap your coins, your crypto coins in the wrong network or to the wrong address, you're gonna lose everything. And there is no contact center you can call to change your password or to stop the transaction. So I think that from a societal point of view, it's important that everyone that wants to learn about this industry understand that there is an element of ownership that is important. We can't relinquish our wealth to third parties that are not really trustworthy, and we have seen in the history that we can't trust them 100%. So I wanted to have a very quick introduction about the value of the crypto industry against the traditional monetary system, and I think that these points should be taken seriously and studied deeper. So if you are interested in learning more about the crypto industry, more technical elements, please leave a comment down below, ask me what you want to know, and I will be very happy to create another video talking about those items. I will now stop and I will leave space to an AI generated video to go deeper into the smart contract, which are the heart of the automation. Thank you very much for listening.
You know, every single day, businesses are leaking time and money. It's happening in the friction of our agreements, the delays, the disputes, all that manual oversight. Today, we're talking about the technology that's built to just eliminate all of that. Smart contracts. We're going to look at how they can put your most critical operations on autopilot and really boost your efficiency and, of course, your bottom line.
All right, so here's the plan. First, we'll dig into the hidden costs of doing things the old-fashioned way. Then, we'll make this whole concept super simple with a vending machine analogy. Trust me, it works. After that, we'll see how it all works under the hood, look at the actual ROI businesses are getting right now, and then we'll wrap up by looking at what this automated future of business is really shaping up to be.
So first up, let's talk about the way things have always been done. We're going to shine a light on the friction, the delays, and the very real costs that are just baked into traditional, paper-based agreements.
Let's just start with this one question. What if your agreements weren't just static documents sitting in a file cabinet? What if they were alive? Imagine a contract that automatically triggers a payment the second a shipment arrives, or verifies compliance in real time. That's the game-changing idea we're unpacking today.
And this, right here, really sums up the whole shift. On the left, you've got the world we all know, bogged down by manual processes, tons of fees for middlemen, and, the constant risk of someone just making a mistake. But on the right, that's the goal, a system that's instant, automatic, and accurate because it's built to be. By cutting out the middlemen, smart contracts don't just make things faster, they completely change the cost of doing business.
Okay, that all sounds fantastic, but what is a smart contract really? It can feel a little abstract, so let's break it down with a super simple, everyday example that's going to make it all click. At its absolute core, a smart contract is just a program. Think of it as a digital agreement that lives on a blockchain, and its whole job is to automatically enforce the terms written inside it. When the conditions are met, boom, the contract does its thing. No need for a person to sign off or push a button.
A vending machine is honestly the perfect way to think about it. The rules are coded right in. If you press B4 and if you insert $1.50, that's the contract. You commit your asset, your money, the conditions are met, the machine confirms it got paid, and the contract executes itself, it dispenses your snack. There's no cashier, nobody in the middle. A smart contract just applies that exact same simple logic to much more complex business deals.
So we've covered the what. Now let's peek under the hood at the how. What's the engine that actually powers all this secure automation?
And the answer is the blockchain. All you need to know are its key features. It's a shared digital record book that's incredibly secure. And this is the most important part. It's unchangeable.
Once something is written down, it can't be altered. It creates one single, trustworthy source of truth for everyone involved.
The logic behind it all is beautifully simple. If this, then that. For instance, if the GPS data confirms a shipment has arrived at the warehouse, then the contract automatically releases payment to your supplier. It's that programmable, totally reliable if-then logic, but applied directly to your business.
So what does this actually mean for your bottom line? Well, it really comes down to these four things. You get automation, which means way less manual work and fewer costly human errors. You get incredible efficiency, slashing the time and money spent on just getting things done. You get built-in security that makes fraud much, much harder. And you get total transparency because everyone is looking at the exact same unchangeable playbook. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but where's the proof, right? This is where the rubber meets the road, where the tech stops being an idea and starts driving a real return on investment. Let's look at how companies are actually using this stuff today.
And if you're thinking this is still some niche, futuristic concept, think again. As of April 2023, there was over $50 billion locked in applications that run on smart contracts. This isn't a someday trend. The market is putting serious money behind this technology right now.
So let's dive into one of the biggest areas of impact, the global supply chain. It's a world that is often just a tangled mess of inefficiency, a total lack of transparency, and a huge target for fraud. Smart contracts are basically designed to untie those knots.
And this is already happening at a massive scale with companies like IBM. Their food trust platform uses smart contracts to log every single step of a product's journey, from the moment it leaves the farm to when it lands in the grocery store, all on an unchangeable record. This creates a level of transparency we've just never had before.
The benefits here are just enormous. For the first time, you have true, verifiable end-to-end traceability. This helps drastically cut down on counterfeit goods and fraud. It makes audits simpler and way more accurate. And at the end of the day, it builds incredible trust with your customers because they can be absolutely sure about where their product came from.
Now let's pivot to another industry that is just ripe for this kind of disruption: insurance. Just think about all the manual paperwork, the overhead, and the delays that are involved in processing a simple claim. Take this example from a company called Etherisk. They offer flight delay insurance. It's run by a smart contract that's connected to official flight data. If your flight gets delayed past a certain time, the contract sees it and it automatically pays out your claim. You don't fill out a form, you don't make a call, it just happens.
The ROI here is so clear. For the insurance company, automating claims just slashes their administrative costs and errors. And for you, the customer, it means you get your money faster with zero hassle. It's a total win-win, and it's all driven by this simple automation. So, look, these examples, they're really just the beginning. Let's wrap this up by looking ahead a little bit at the truly transformative power of this technology as it starts merging with other major digital forces.
The next frontier is all about integration. Imagine a smart contract that uses AI to make dynamic decisions based on live market data. Or picture a warehouse where IoT sensors detect that your inventory is low and a smart contract just automatically orders new parts from a supplier. This is the path we're on, towards truly autonomous business operations.
I'm here again to thank you for having listened to all this video, and I really hope that you have a greater understanding of the crypto industry and what are the key benefits versus the traditional monetary systems. And again, if you want to know more, please leave a comment and also like and subscribe. Thank you very much. And I will make another video talking about the points that you want to learn more. Thank you and have a good day. Bye.